Section 6.3 is going to talk about the triangle inequality theorem, okay? And what I wrote here is the triangle inequality theorem. So the sum of any two numbers must be greater than the third number for it to be a triangle. Now there's three trials, okay? And all three have to work. So this says, which of the following sets of numbers could represent the three sides of a triangle? So let's start with A. So I've got 13 plus 22. Is 13 plus 22 greater than 35? Well, 13 plus 22 is 35. Was 35 greater than 35? No. It's equal to. That's no good. Can't be equal. So A is out. Let's look at B. 6 plus 18. Is 6 plus 18 greater than 22? Well, that's 24. So is 24 greater than 22? Yes. Now, that doesn't mean B is the answer. That just means we can move forward. Now, pick two different numbers in that trio. So let's do 18 plus 22. Is that greater than 6? Well, obviously, 18 plus 22 is 40. 40 is greater than 6. So another trial. Remember, all three have to work. Well, the only two numbers that I haven't picked are 6 and 22. So 6 plus 22 is 28. Is that greater than 18? Yes. So all three trials work. So B is your answer. Okay? Now, number 2. Similar problem. Okay, which of the following sets of numbers could represent the three sides of a triangle? So let's start with A. So 15 plus 19 greater than 34. 15 plus 19 is 34. 34 is not greater than 34, so A is out. Let's look at B. 9 plus 13, is that greater than 19? Well, 9 plus 13 is 22. 22 is greater than 19, so there's our first trial. Pick two different numbers, so 9 plus 19. Is that bigger than 22? Excuse me. Sorry. Wrong number. 9 plus 19, is that bigger than 13? Well, 9 plus 19 is 28. Bigger than 13? You got it. All right, well, is 13 plus 19 bigger than 9? Well, it is, obviously. So that works. So B is your answer. Okay? Now, the way it worked out in these two problems, okay, B was the answer for both, but it doesn't always work out that way. You just got to keep going until you get a threesome of numbers that all three trials work. Okay, now, in triangle EFG, FG is 11, GE is 18, and EF is 14. Which list has the angles of triangle EFG in order from smallest to largest? Now, draw a picture. So it doesn't have to be a specific one, just draw a triangle. EFG. FG is 11, GE is 18, and EF is 14. Okay? Now, which list has the angles of triangle EFG in order from smallest to largest? Now, here's what that means. The smallest angle is across from the shortest side. Here's the shortest side. 11 is the smaller of the three sides. So if I go across, that means that angle E is the smallest. They want from smallest to largest. So angle E is first. So we're going to cross out all the answers where angle E is not first. Okay, so it's either D or F. Okay, now, go to the next biggest side, 14. Okay, so that means that angle C or angle G is the next smallest. Well, so angle G is second. Well, let's see. Angle G is second. So D is our answer. If you draw a picture, this is an easy problem. Okay, now we go the other way. Now they give us the angles. And it says which statement about the sides of the triangles, or about the sides of triangle STU must be true. Now, when they do this, okay, when the arrows are pointing like that, I don't want to put the lines there, I don't want to confuse you. Biggest is first, smallest is last. So let's see. STU. Angle S is 51. Angle T is 28. Okay, well, there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So to figure out the measure of angle U, it's 180 minus 51 minus 28. So let's see, that is 101. So it's 101 degrees. So the longest side is across from the biggest angle. So really what I should be saying here is longest, shortest. Well, here's the biggest angle. Okay, so that means ST is the longest. So that means ST should go first. Okay, that doesn't, that doesn't, that doesn't. Okay, so it's down to A or B. Well, here's the next biggest angle. So I go across. So TU would come next. So I come up here, up, A. TU comes second. So ST's there, TU is there, and then the smallest angle, the shortest side, would be US. Okay? All right, now it says find the measure of GF. Now, look. Those angles are congruent. So here's what that means. That means that the sides across from those angles are also congruent. This is an isosceles triangle. Okay? So, real quick. Isosceles triangle. Leg, leg, base. Base, angles. And then this angle is called the vertex angle. Okay? So, GF, okay, GF right here, well, GF is congruent to GH. So GF is 21. Okay? This time it says find the measure of angle MKL. So here's M to K to L. Remember, K is the vertex. Right there. Well, again, look here. So I have an isosceles triangle. The sides are congruent, so that means that the angles are congruent. So the measure of angle MKL is just 47 degrees because there's 47, so that's 47. Okay, OPQ, so here's OPQ, so it's this angle right here. Well, again, I have an isosceles triangle, so these two angles are congruent. So if that's 48, this is 48. But we need to know this angle. Well, 48 plus 48 is 96. And again, there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So the measure of angle OPQ is 180 minus the 96 degrees that we already have. So that's 84. So that's the measure of OPQ. Okay? And finally, find the measure of angle BCA. Okay, well, I've got the vertex angle is 128. Again, here's my isosceles. I got two sides congruent. So these two angles are congruent. Okay, well, BCA is what I'm trying to find. So that's X. But here's the thing. Angle BCA is the same as angle BAC. So this is X2. Well, X plus 128, if I add all three angles together, I get 180. Right? So I combine like terms. That's 2X plus 128 equals 180. Minus 128. So I've got 2x equals 52. That's a 2. Divide by 2. So x is 26. So that's this angle right here. It's 26 degrees. Okay? So just some different problems with isosceles triangles.